Bobby went to this school. It's Oak Park
Jackie did too.
Elementary.
Oh, that's the one Uncle Robbie said the other day.
Oak Park Elementary.
Okay.
I think he went here just the first grade, Nancy, and then that's when we started our private school. Then y'all went to Oak Park.
We went to T.H. Watkins.
Yeah, T.H. Watkins.
I went to public school only 1 year of my life, and it was T.H. Watkins school grade.
Okay, I'm looking for Enterprise.
3 years, TCA.
That's where I know Kemp was born at Lake Charles Memorial, and probably Nancy and Peggy.
Mom, were you born here?
Lake Charles
Yes,
Memorial
I was born at
Hospital.
Memorial. We were all born at Memorial.
Kemp was born, I think, at St. Patrick's. And I think Robbie was born at St. Patrick's.
St. Patrick's. Where is St. Patrick's? Is it in Lake Charles?
Yes, it is in Lake Charles, but it's on the other side.
I'm freezing. I don't know if you're asking me, but I'm freezing. Close my things. Wait, my vent? What? How do? Oh,
like
okay.
This.
Yeah, gotcha.
Push it down.
I got it. Okay. Well, I closed it here.
Okay, now we're on Enterprise Boulevard.
Okay, which is?
And on Enterprise Boulevard, I'm going to show you Lake Charles High School.
Which is where you were Kilty.
Where I was a Kilty. And we're going to go straight out to Gosport on here. We're going to go through Nickel. We would come. Oh, you were really something if you had a car and could drive around this circle.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
If you had a car.
Well, yeah. And then I remember Pawpaw would sometimes bring me to school, and he would drop me off like right about here, because at that time that was the girls' gym.
This right here.
So they had a girls' gym and a boys' gym?
They did.
So
they
that
did.
What is
See,
this now?
see the sign, Lake Charles,
Boston. It says that, yeah.
LCB.
The girl probably thinks I'm
LCB
videotaping her, which I am, but not on
Stadium
purpose.
is what Hamilton rents out for their football games.
These beautiful, beautiful oak trees. Our alma mater, beneath the widespread oak trees, the grass grows fresh and green. I can't remember the rest.
But it's good up to this point.
And now our Kilty practice was... No, our Kilty practice was over there, towards the corner. We practiced right out there. And I would bring Sandra on my bicycle handles, and she would sit under a big oak tree while we did our Kilty practice.
You bring her from where?
From Gosport. She was just a little thing.
Oh, you had to ride your bike to Kilty practice?
Yeah.
So it wasn't directly after school then?
No. Kilty practice started in August.
Oh.
So it was in the summer.
So what is this used for now?
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, did we check to see if a train was coming? No? Okay. It's a good thing there. Oh.
Yes, I do. You know, remember that kid? Dad was trying to turn and he did not have a green light, and a train was coming. He had a red light.
Look at these old houses.
Hamilton style.
That is very cool.
This was very, very, very elite.
Okay, so what's the name of this street again?
This is Enterprise Boulevard.
Enterprise. Okay.
Enterprise Boulevard.
This week.
They might be.
Like I said, this was very, very elite.
Very elite. Well, they've got nice houses, old houses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remodeled now, it looks like. Hamilton's down that way, Kristen?
Yeah. Yes.
Is it like a block away?
Look at these oak trees, y'all.
I know. Look at that.
these oak
Kristen, have
trees.
you ever taken a picture standing in the middle of that, looking down the oak trees? That's
Twice.
I do that for Darian.
Okay. This is the location of Lake Charles High School.
But not Lake Charles High School anymore?
The building burned down.
Which is that one you talked about?
Mm-hmm,
okay.
Mm-hmm. And then afterwards it became Boston Marion, or what was it?
Yeah, Boston.
And you can imagine what the reason. Most of the time we had one car, and Papa would, Papa Rader would have to take that to work. But on Saturdays, Mother would take him to work and keep the car so that she could go grocery shopping, and we would go to pick him up at the barber shop on Saturday night. And so we would park the car just, right by the barber shop and watch the people walk by. That was our entertainment.
That's funny.
And if you got inside the barber shop at 5 minutes of 9, see all these railroad tracks? We had to stop. If you got inside, you got your hair cut. And they closed at 9, but you got your hair cut. What do we have here?
Oh no!
Road closed. Okay.
I tell y'all what. He worked for what, Mee Maw?
He worked for Greater Lake Charles Water Company.
Okay.
And it was right down here.
Wait, what is he doing? Right there, City of Lake Charles Water Division.
See, Water Division, City of Lake Charles Water Division.
Was this these weren't the actual buildings, huh?
Yeah, he would, seems like I would pull right there in that driveway to pick him up. When he first went to work, it was Gulf States. And then Gulf States divided. And the electrical was one part, and the water is another part.
And he stayed with the water part?
Yeah, and he went with the water part.
Or at Hamilton, we come to clean up the beach.
Look how high the water is, y'all.
I was gonna say it's extremely
Look
close.
how high it is.
But it wasn't this high when we came.
Been having a lot of rain.
It's like those birds at the ferry in Galveston.
What are we going to Galveston to ask?
One time,
Why don't we just go for a day?
my mother had a friend that lived down here, and I remember coming on a boat. We'd have to cross the water to get in her camp.
Oh my goodness.
Y'all, I'm not sure where we're going, so I'll turn around. I think, look, he's fishing. I think this would take you to the port
We'll try it.
of Lake Charles.
It's not really unknown because it has 2 elements of hydrogen and 1
Okay, chemistry teacher, I don't think so.
Well, it represents the unknown.
Water to you represents the unknown?
Yeah.
Oh, I must get this on video.
alligators, if that's
I prefer not to swim with sharks. However, it could be a little adventurous.
There's some
So,
pretty humps
bring it on.
down here.
Do you know how to swim, Mee Maw?
No,
You don't know how to swim.
no, I'm not.
No wonder you're frightened by water. I
Look
love
how
swimming.
pretty, y'all.
Yeah, look, he wakes them up.
Look how beautiful.
It is. Those are nice houses. And they're random bass.
Well, you can be sure these people have money to live down here.
And insurance.
Yeah.
Look at that cool car.
Isn't that pretty?
Beach houses.
They are. But what is this? Like, is that are those island? Is that like an island on the other side? Or
I guess
what?
this is the Calcasieu River. I don't really
On the
know.
side of the road. Aww. Bunny rabbit.
The what?
We have bunny rabbits in the yard of the school. They go eat in the garden. Nibble on the
Carrots. Except for
tomatoes. Mr. Turner.
the bunnies.
Wait, in school?
So who had a camp house on the other
Oh,
side?
it was just a friend of my mother's.
Oh.
And,
But it was a big deal to have something over
Not
there?
a big, it wasn't a big deal. I mean, maybe she sewed for this lady or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Sure is.
No, but was it a big deal to have a house over there? Or a camper?
Well, at one time, you know, it was poor people. They would just, you know, have a little shanty or something. But now it's rich people live down here. Maybe just $1,000 together.
Mm-hmm.
And unless they own their home.
Oh.
That's it. Wise man seldom blows his nose. KNOWX. Like his knowledge, but
What does that
seldom
mean?
blows his nose.
I'm gonna go this way.
So why don't we have that?
Lauren, look, there's an LSU.
LSU porta potty.
Cage.
It totally K-John. And it totally have fleur-de-lis on it.
That is funny. However, 15 minutes ago, I would have not cared what it looked like. I was in a very serious emergency situation.
They started out making, they gauged it by what they were making it.
Opelousas.
Especially if you're with college, you have to get more money to pay for your student loan.
If I would have to go back,
Unless you study where I study.
I wouldn't go.
We don't have student loans.
Experience is a great
I have.
thing, but I think a degree should be recognized.
Well, I would think so. I've paid thousands of dollars for both of my degrees. I think I
That's what I'm
should.
saying. Like the people who have degrees
Here's the road
should
post
earn
again,
more
Mee Maw.
money because just
think
because
I'm
of their
gonna be
student
able to
loans,
go
the fact that they
right
went
here.
to college, they have to pay for it. Uh-oh.
To grammar school.
You went to grammar school right
But
here.
it didn't look like this. But it was the old First Ward School.
I remember you told us this.
And Aunt Lois and Uncle Ted used to live right there.
Huh.
They had probably 4 or 5 kids right there.
In that house.
And Nancy, that little building on the corner, was a little grocery store. And the mother of Cormie's Grocery, you know, the parents, her name was Camille Calora. And they had a grocery store there. And if you were lucky, at noon, you could go over to Calora's store and buy a penny candy.
If you were lucky.
Yeah, if you were rich.
Oh.
And of course, this was just a straight up and down, you know, just like a box. An old brick school. But it was First Ward School, and we had a fence around it, just like this. And who knows, this might be the original fence. And so we would walk to school. And here I'm going to turn left on North Lyons. That's the street that we lived on, was Lyons. And it was 7 blocks to school.
And this was the street that when you grew up and were working at Muller's and would take the bus, where did the bus let you off? Where that you had to walk on against those high hedges?
I wasn't working at Muller's. That was
going to kilty practice or whatever.
well, anytime like we would go to town or anything. Okay, this church was there years ago.
Same church?
Well, looks like it. And this house, Tinkerbell Courtney lived there.
Her name was Tinkerbell.
Well, we called her Tinkerbell.
Oh, I was going to say, poor child.
Yeah.
Tinkerbell? That's...
She had naturally real blonde hair, you know. Almost looked like what now would be a peroxide blonde, but it was real hair. It was her real hair.
That doesn't take away the fact that Tinkerbell is a hilarious name.
And this is Gifford Street. And this right here wasn't this building at all, but there was Jack Morris's grocery store. And I used to get on skates and would skate up to Jack Morris's store, maybe and get a dozen eggs, and skate back
And
home.
skate back with eggs in your
Yes,
hands.
Yes.
You are very...
And this old tree was here, and right here, you would go up this little driveway, and there was like a little apartment, and it was attached to the grocery store. And Jack Morris's mother lived in the apartment. So. This was the Burgesses lived there. They were rich, as far as we were concerned. And then Gaynell Gilry lived here, and she was a Kilty colonel. Gaynell was popular. She was a Kilty colonel and a very smart girl. So there were some from Gosport that became famous.
Look at those mushrooms in that yard. Oh my goodness.
Popular, maybe.
So are we getting close to neighbors? Your neighbors?
Yeah, we're getting close. We're getting close. Shirley Ray Robinson lived there. We went to the Baptist church where I went to.
Y'all call it for Shirley Ray?
House.
It's a
All
he.
these houses
It was a
are,
Shirley Ray.
Oh,
This was the
originals?
old Avant house. A family by the name of Avant lived there.
You think that's original, like the
That's
siding and
original.
everything?
That's original.
Alexa Dixon had cancer.
Look at that house over there. It's like the ceiling, like the roof is totally drooping.
Let's go.
You notice a lot of these houses have bars
That is
on the windows.
quite
and
frightening.
doors. And this was the Boudier's house, Boudier. And she was either
the red door, I
either
like that.
widowed or an old maid, but she was the one that ran the recreation center that we went to on Friday nights. And that was our highlight on Friday night. If Mother wanted to punish me, all she had to do is just say, you can't go to the recreation center Friday night. This is original. I can't remember the family name, but that's an original house. This is an original house. It was Pecorina's house. Look, Fondell's funeral home. So,
Was that...
that was not there.
It's a limo.
It's not a
Fundales.
It's a tiny limo.
Not a lemon.
This house has
Well,
been
actually, it
here
does
all
look
this
like a lemon.
time.
Lemonade.
That's an original house.
Who was this, Mom?
I don't remember. This is original.
Look at that one. Oh my goodness. They start to like droop in the
This is
ground or
original
something.
to your right.
Oh my goodness.
Look at these trees. Oh my goodness. Okay. Baptist Church. Okay. We're approaching where I live.
This is the original house.
Now, where this fence comes over here, this was our property. But the things that have changed, I mean, it was always on brick pillars.
Mm-hmm.
And in the summertime, my job was to paint the pillars under the house with red paint, bright red paint. Where that air conditioner is, that window air conditioner, that was a screened porch. A screened in porch. there were, seems like maybe they've lost some of the trees since I was here, because there were 2 more trees. You see, there's 2 trees in line and 2 trees in line. Well, there were actually 6 trees. So evidently they either cut them down or they were lost in a hurricane.
Those are
or something.
pecan trees, aren't they?
Yes, and we had so many little boyfriends when the pecans, you know, they were all following us home from school and because they wanted to pick pecans. And I mean, there were hundreds of pecans.
Oh my goodness.
I thought you were going to say hundreds of boys.
Hundreds of boys in pecans.
Okay, as we face the front here, let's see. Oh, yes.
I sure hope those people don't walk out of their house
That's
and
okay.
notice
If
that we're
they do,
visiting.
we'll tell them what we're doing. This magnolia tree was not there. There was a tree there, but it was like a sycamore tree or something. And when I was a child, this porch, Mother wanted this porch, you know, flat, but we had a high porch that
Even
went,
the threshold of the door.
yeah, that came up to the threshold of the door. And Natalie says Mother ruined this house when she did that.
When she pulled it down.
Yeah, yeah. But the porch went
Up to probably those
all
columns,
across
those
the front
pillars.
of the house.
Oh,
Now, these rooms here, they this ejection out here, this wasn't there. There, those were bedrooms, but it was flat up against the house because there was a porch that went from this corner to this corner and clear on where that air conditioner was. That was a screened-in porch, and then it went across the back of the house. It was 3 sides of the house. Okay.
So y'all put those rounded steps in when she pulled it down? Because your steps originally had been further out on the wall.
Well,
To get up to the height.
there were steps that went up to the porch. That's where we played kick the wick. You know, we'd put a branch, and so the person that's sits on the front porch, and 1, 2, 3, you know, count however, and everyone else is around the house, but the one that's can't look under the house. Others can. So you run and you see someone, and you have to run back to the steps and say 1, 2, 3 for Jill. But if Jill gets there before you do, she's free.
She's free.
But if Jill is running around and the one that's over there, Jill comes and kick the wick, and the person that's has to come back, put the stick on the steps.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Okay, this Rogers lived there, but also at one time Aunt Lois and Uncle Ted lived there. And so this, to my left, this was a dirt street, and to my left, this whole block was high hedges and no street lights. And so the city bus would let you off at that corner, and you would walk pitch black to your house.
Oh my
And
goodness.
sometimes I would be walking home and I could hear footsteps on this side. Never knew who it was. It was that dark.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, pretty much like it was. The Mayos lived here. And I can remember I was, okay, all right, let me finish though. This is the living room. 2 windows, and the 2 front windows, that's the living room. And then these next 2 windows was the dining room.
Who built this house?
It was built by Long Bell lumber company.
But
And when we moved here when the Depression hit in 1932. Mommy and Papa Adair lost their house on Henry Street.
oh my
They
goodness.
had a kind of a new house, but when the Depression hit, they lost it, and they had to move out to Gosport. And my mother thought it was the end of the world. My mother was kind of a proud woman, and when we moved here, the house was 50 years old.
Oh my goodness. So this house
In
is
50 years old.
in 32 it was 50 years old, so it was built in at least 1880 something.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And I was born, so they tell me, right there in the living room. I was born in this house.
Oh my goodness.
Not.
In the house, not
Mhm,
house.
mhm. Oh, Lauren, that picture is beautiful. I need a picture of that.
You need a picture of that? Hold on, let me stop recording. So.
Maybe there was another tree, but because I know Mother was sitting at the sewing machine. It seems like there was another tree closer to the road, and that's when, of course, all the windows were open, and I heard them say that President Roosevelt has declared war upon Japan.
Oh my
I
goodness.
remember that very clearly. And here is where the Mayos lived. Now this brick garage is all something new. It was like a big chicken yard. They raised chickens. And I can remember the day that the telegram came. And it was saying that her son, his name was Marvin, but we all called him Red. He had red hair. And the telegram said that he had been killed at Pearl Harbor.
Oh my goodness.
And you could hear her screaming and
Oh my
wailing.
goodness.
But, and this is so silly, but Mother used to say, Wanda, when it was starting to rain, go close all the north windows. And I would say, well, which ones are the north windows? She said, the ones facing the Mayos. And to this day,
You think about north.
today when I'm thinking, I'll think, now which direction is the Mayo?
For north. That's
They
funny.
had a daughter that was Aunt Dorothy's age. And she had red hair and freckles and buck teeth. She was honestly she was as ugly as homemade soap.
I hope
But
she doesn't see
but
this.
she was so sweet that you forgot that she was ugly. And her name was Doris, but everybody called her Doodlebug.
Oh, that's the one y'all heard y'all talk about.
Doodlebug lived there.
And then you
there
had
was-
no idea you would have a grandchild who was redhead
And
later.
so then all of this was pasture. Mommy and Papa owned the land from that corner to this corner.
Oh, the whole
Now,
block.
not the whole block.
Long ways,
but the frontage, they owned it clear to
the corner.
to the corner. And we used to have cows and chickens and probably where that tree is, that big tree right there by the garage, that's probably the tree that Dorothy and Doodle probably climbed up, because I had seen Betsy. I guess it's when the cows are in heat or something, I don't know, but I mean they kick up and they run, and I saw Betsy coming, so I climbed the fence real quick and got to safety, and Betsy landed up under that tree and wouldn't let those kids come down. But that's the same fence that they would sit Melba on and put a clothespin on her nose.
Why?
to be mean.
Oh.
She was your cousin.
Melba was a neighbor. So that was where the Mayos lived. And then this is much, much improved. But Aunt Dot and Uncle Ray lived here for
With some of
quite a
their
while.
kids.
And then this house, Aunt Dot and Uncle Ray built this house. It was by far the nicest house that she had ever owned. You know, it was brand spanking new.
Lois and Ted later lived here.
So Lois and Ted.
Wait, didn't Lois and Ted live in 3 houses so far we
Yes,
passed by?
yes. Lois
my
and
goodness.
Ted lived here when Brenda died.
Who's Brenda?
She was, I think it's Barbara Lee, Norma Gale, Bonnie, Belinda, and Brenda. I think that's the way it was. But Brenda had to be the 5th one because when Brenda died, Lois was pregnant for Debbie. And so when Debbie was born, she said, okay, I have my 5 girls again. And Lois was very sick when Debbie, of course, you know, having lost a child and all of that, she was very ill. And so Aunt Allie and Uncle Alan, who both are deceased, but they kept Debbie for about 6 months. And, you know, not teetotally, but they mostly kept Debbie. Okay.
So wait, what happened? Who is Brenda and what happened?
She died of spinal meningitis when she was in the 1st grade.
Oh my goodness. But who is she?
Aunt Lois's.
Aunt Lois's
and Uncle
daughter.
Ted.
And then Debbie later, when she was 16 or 17, died.
She went into the hospital and was diagnosed when on 16 with cancer.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so, but this was originally Pawpaw and Mommy Abear's property. You know, because I told you they owned the property clear to the end.
Yeah, I'm rolling up the window because I'm getting your car wet.
And then this next little house was built for Grandma and Grandpa Abear, which was Papa Abear's mother and dad. They had lived most of their life in Woodlawn, Louisiana, and then because of health reasons and such, they came to town, and I don't know, Daddy might have just given them the property, I don't know. But this house was built for Grandma and Grandpa Abear, and Grandpa, this was the front door and like a little living room, and then a little tiny kitchen, and this is a bedroom, and that's where my Grandpa Abear died, right there in that bedroom. I think there might be 2 bedrooms, I'm not sure. But Daddy owned all of this property clear to the corner. Okay, this is North Blake Street. A friend of Dorothy's, Aunt Dorothy's, her name was Lucille, and they built this house. He was like, he didn't work much. They didn't have a real happy time, but this was Lucille and Ballard or something. And I kind of remember that house, but I think it was built in later years. Okay, but now this is Mullen. So now I would walk from Line Street, and I'd usually come up this way and come to Moling, and I'll show you where I went to church. To the Baptist church.
So,
This street was paved when I was little.
anywhere. So your dad's side of the family was French?
My dad's family's This is an original house. This is where, Nancy, maybe you remember hearing me say that I located my cousin, Milton Bear. Well, he married a girl that lived here. And right at the moment, Evelyn Mathis. The family was Mathis.
I've heard that name before.
They lived there.
Is Mathis a famous Lake Charles family?
I don't know. This is an original house.
They have a puppet stage and
Are you serious? Oh, you're serious. Oh my goodness, it looks like it.
Lived there, but there was a Baptist deacon that lived here. I guess those people behind me are wondering what I'm doing. I remember their names.
Crazy Cones drive-through. Where is that? I hope it.
Okay, then we turned right.
Drive-through, right by the side window of our house. What about this one? I'm sure this one is.
Probably an original. Okay.
Drive through and have a crazy
change.
snow.
talk about go through it.
They're probably wondering why in this world.
This in the Baptist church where you met?
No, it was by a park.
Is it still here?
Uh-huh. I think this is the... Now this, of course, is not the building. It was a wood frame building. But the Baptist church was right here.
Is this where you got saved?
Yep. The first time.
First
And I can remember I was so appalled. One Sunday night, right after church, this was a parking lot like this, and I walked out. There was, I don't know where I walked out, but there were two deacons out here fighting. One of them had a bloody nose.
Oh my goodness.
You know, and I thought,
That's not right.
I was just appalled. But then here is Gosport Park.
So would you walk to church on Sunday nights from
Well, until your daddy started picking me up, and that would be our dates.
and y'all would come to church here?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Ooh,
I met him at church.
I was going to ask you that earlier.
Because, you know...
Was he the fighting deacon?
No. You know, I told you where the Rogers lived, and then Aunt Lois lived there.
Two.
Well, the Rogers were big Baptist. And so I was friends with the Rogers. And so as a small child, we went to Simpson Methodist Church, Sunday school and church. But then when I got to be like 12, you know, I would walk to church with the Rogers because this is where they came. And so at one time they were having a like a youth, like a training program, you know, just for youth. And it was in the evenings. It was in the summertime, you know. And so I would walk, and I was coming to those classes in the evening. And your daddy walked, he was late, because Papa worked, you know. Papa worked even when he was a teenage boy. And so he had gotten off of work, you know, and had to clean up and everything. And he came into the classroom a little bit late. And honey, when I saw him, I thought, I'm going to marry that boy.
So what was his connection to come here?
Well, he was a Baptist, you know,
This wasn't his church, was it?
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
this
yes.
was his church.
And so,
He was coming from...
so that would have been in the summertime, and he liked a girl. Her name was Billy something.
Billie Holiday.
Billie Holiday.
You know, they were kind of dating, if you date at 12 and 13.
Going steady.
So, I remember
Oh, y'all are
sometimes
young, 12 or 13.
I was
Oh, I'm
telling
thinking
him
high school here.
Something, you know, like I would kind of tease him about her or something, you know. But then our first date was probably on my I'm going to say maybe my 15th birthday or third. I don't know. I'd have to stop and think of that. But, you know, I matured early. And so by the time that I started Lake Charles High, I mean, I was a fully matured young lady. And anyway, our first date, it was raining like this and cold. And we came to church, and the preacher mentioned something about if anyone wanted to go to the Messiah. They had the Messiah at night then. So Melvin...
That's true, because it would be December.
Yeah, and Melvin and a older male friend that kind of, you know, took him under his wing, and they owned a car together. But anyway, so Brett let Melvin have the car. So it was Melvin and me and maybe two or three others. We left church. And like I said, it was pouring down, raining, freezing cold. And he told the kids, unbeknownst to me, he says, Wanda sits in the front seat. So we went to the Messiah. And then after that, you know, he would come pick me up for church and take me home for church. And that was our day.
That was your date?
And then he'd come inside at the house and visit a while.
Not then, because Brett, how would I liken Brett? Brett was at least 10 years older. I think he was instrumental in getting Melvin to come to the Baptist church.
And he would chaperone.
So, yeah, he was the chaperone all the time. And just on rare occasions could Melvin have the car by himself. But I remember one night after church that Brett was driving and Melvin and I were sitting in the back seat, and it was a small car. We were sitting there and we went to Barton's to get something before they took me home. I can remember right before I opened that back door, probably Melvin got out and opened the door for me. But right before that, he whispered to me and he said, I love you. And he didn't walk me to the door as best I remember it. But I remember I was like just floating. just floating. I remember I went into our house, to my bedroom. I didn't get ready for bed. I just lay across the bed. I just, you said you love me. Slept in my clothes all night long.
Oh, that's funny.
You didn't want to mess up the dream.
I could not have been a day older than 15. I don't know if I was 14 or 15 or what. So Mommy didn't let me date. This was our date. Picking me up and taking me to church.
How old were you when you got married?
18 and a half.
18 and a half. Oh, my word.
I graduated at 17 and a half, and I got married at 18 and a half, and I was a mother at 19 and a half.
Oh,
Isn't
Nancy
that
Ellen
something?
Ducey Falk.
Isn't that something?
And Erica Nell Falk Linscomb.
Isn't that something?
Oh, it's something.
You know, but I thought I was as grown up as I would ever be.
Well, back then you were. I mean, kids were mature quicker back then, I would think. They weren't as spoiled as they are now.
Well, I'm going to show y'all
Tis true.
where a scary graveyard was. It was dark.
Oh,
and
it
spooky.
is.
Spooky.
And you had to walk past it?
No, but we would,
Goose Cemetery?
Goss.
Oh, I was
Goss
going to say.
Cemetery.
Goose Cemetery. That is
See,
old.
there's a family of Goss. And it's Goss Sport.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That makes sense.
But
This is a creepy
there
cemetery.
were no
Look at that
fences
thing.
or anything like that. And it was all built up woods and stuff. And it was creepy.
Oh my goodness, there's a broken grave.
Creepy.
Run
creepy.
away. Oh, there's 3.
One time we were on a field trip when I was teaching school for not Lakewood,
Black
but
Crow.
when we were, I guess it's when we had a Mizpah Christian Academy, and we went on a field trip.
To the
And in the field trip, we were seeing an old graveyard, and Curtis Wayne went there in an open grave and pulled out a skull.
Are you serious?
I am serious.
That's disgusting.
That's disgusting. Okay, hold on, Mee Maw, because I want to get down a second. I want to see how old